I think the most contradictory set of people who are alive today is those who are blackpill and fat at the same time, somehow. How are you telling me that your entire ideology is that nobody cares about your personality because they only see how you look? They take their entire perception of you based off how you look. They judge what they think about you in the first 1 second, and you're 200 pounds and 30% body fat. You look fat. Doesn't your ideology say you should look good? So why are you fat then? Yeah, but you don't get it. It won't make a difference. My genetic potential, if you can't go above your genetic potential. You don't know what your genetic potential is because it's layered below kilograms of fat. You are not part of the team. You are not an incel. It's a voluntary decision to keep jam-packing Big Macs down your gullet. I feel like I see them all over the internet. They go, I don't have a chance with girls, it's all because of how I look. And then I click on their profile and they're overweight. You are not part of the team. You don't get to call yourself an involuntary celibate if you're fat as fuck. The most interesting part about this is the blackpill fat conundrum is not the only place where you'll see this strange combination. You know, I'm blackpill, so I believe all people care about is looks, but I've also decided to be fat so I look horrible. And then I'm gonna cry that people only judge me for how I look when I look like a guy who can't control himself. You don't get to call yourself an insult. You don't have a birthmark. You don't have a fucking facial deformity. You're just lazy as fuck and gluttonous. Anyway, there's so many other places where you'll see this. You'll see the blackpill when it comes to money. Man, there's no way to get money. The only thing that matters is if you're born into money. That person was born rich. That person was born rich. Let's break this down. What you're actually saying when you say that person was born rich is you're saying that person was born with a network of people who highly care about them who had money. Is the only way to get a network of people who are highly invested in your success, who have a lot of money, to be born into it? No. So why are you blackpill? You should just be learning that network matters and going and getting network. The fundamental issue with the vast majority of people who are in the blackpill ideology is not that a majority of them were born 5'3" and with a facial deformity. The vast majority of people who are blackpill were not born under those conditions. Most of them are just normal ass looking guys with the normal ass facial features. And if they really tried, they could be something resembling a good looking person. Maybe they wouldn't be Francisco Lachowski, but they would be reasonably good looking. The issue is that a majority of people who subscribe to that ideology don't want there to be a solution. If they're fat, they'll tell you they're fat because of genetics and they couldn't be slim. If you break them down on that point, they'll tell you that their facial features are genetic. And it doesn't matter what beard shape, it doesn't matter their hairstyle, it doesn't matter if they do skincare, it doesn't matter if they even put on fucking makeup, it's all about their genetic potential. If you then tell them, what about plastic surgery? They say, well, you need to get money, and to get money, you need to be really good looking, because look at this study, people who are better looking get more money. I'm sorry, I must have missed the fucking episode where Elon Musk was doing runway for Balenciaga. Somehow there's always a new spot to move the goalpost for these people, so that success is ever out of reach and it could never have been done. Wake the fuck up. You are in control of your destiny. You are choosing to believe it's out of your control because it makes you feel better and it gives you an excuse for why you don't have to do anything right now. And this is really just reflective of a vast majority of people. And this is really representative of a lot of people. They would rather stay inside, consume social media, doom scroll and swipe on Tinder. And on Tinder, you're swiping on females who get 200 matches in 5 minutes, man. How do you expect to have an edge? Of course you have to look like a fucking Balenciaga model to get a swipe back. These girls are getting thousands of matches in minutes. I know it's been said before, but you need to leave the house, you need to make friends, and you need to socialize. It does make it easier, I promise you. Oh, but Ishmael, what would you do if you were born as a 5'3" guy who is not very attractive and of an ethnicity that people weren't attracted to? What would you do? Well, there's two ways to look at it, but I'll give you the answer that you want. I would sit online, I'd make a bunch of money, I'd get limb lengthening surgery, I'd max out my facial features in all the soft ways I could, and if I was still below a 7 out of 10, maybe I would get the jaw fillers. I'll tell you what I wouldn't do. Sit online fucking inkwelling about how my life is over because it never began, because I wasn't born looking like a male model. There is so much variation in the human species that it's damn near impossible to be born with a guaranteed bad hand. You can always make the most of a bad hand, and in doing so, you will usually make it out better than people who were given a good hand, but didn't do anything with it. The fundamental problem with the blackpill isn't that it's wrong to say that people judge you based off how you look, and that women judge you based off how you look. The fundamental problem is the derived ideology that says there's nothing you can do about your situation regardless. I'm sorry, in which universe does choosing the correct hairstyle, beard style, skincare, makeup, then surgery have zero impact on your appearance? You're gonna do all those things and still blurt out, oh, but if I was 5'2" and unattractive, but you're not! That's not you! So why are we talking about them? If it's not you, why does it depress you? When that person comes to me and talks to me about their situation, we'll talk about his situation. But in the meanwhile, that's not you. You just want to be a bitch. You just want to sit there and say there's nothing you can do about your circumstance and that it was all set at birth. Then go be a loser then. Who else is that gonna harm? Who else is that gonna bother? That's your mindset. The world isn't gonna feel sorry for you. Females aren't gonna feel sorry for you. I don't feel sorry for you. You can make the most out of a bad hand, or you can go cry about it. The funniest thing about it is people will feel more sorry for you if they see you actually trying. If you're born with a bad hand and you do your best, that's when people actually do feel a little bit sorry for you. Nobody feels sorry when they see somebody languidly moping around, claiming it was already over for them before it began. Nobody cares about that guy. People care when they see you trying. But hell, what do I know? I was born with it all. Learn or perish.